Hey, y'all need a break. Listen to these stories from our /entitled parents, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Entitled Stepmonster got herself banned from my wedding. Trigger warning, mention of child abuse. It's not too graphic, but it's there. I tried posting this on Am I the Asshole through a different account a couple days ago, but it didn't work out. Given the trigger warning, I'm not surprised. I have since concluded my wife and I did the right thing, so this will be my last attempt to post this story. I tried to add some info and change the wording a little. All names are fake. My 28 male stepmother, 49 female, is a wannabe party planner. She has taken it upon herself to plan and host every party and holiday my dad's family has thrown since she married him. I never loved those occasions growing up. She's controlling and gets upset if people complain about anything, but humored her for my dad's sake. According to him, this helps her feel included. I'm getting married to my fiancée Jane, 26 female, in July. We got engaged in early 2021, but Jane ended up getting pregnant a couple months after that, and we decided to postpone the wedding to focus on our son for a while. So we've had a long engagement. My stepmother has tried to hijack our wedding plans from day one, complaining, contacting our planner, showing up unannounced to Jane's dress appointments, etc., and we have repeatedly asked her to stop. Dad wants us to humor her, but she's clearly resentful of the fact that she's not hosting the wedding or being labeled mother of the groom in invitations. Besides our baby boy, we also have Luke, 4 male, Jane's paternal half-brother. She got custody of him a few months into our relationship, after his parents died. I ended up moving in with them during the pandemic, and have been in Luke's life since he was a baby. He doesn't call me dad, and refers to us as his sister and his OP, but we love him like a son. Stepmother, though, hates Luke. She accuses Jane of baby trapping her way into the family. That accusation only got worse after our son was born. My dad gets along with Jane and adores the kids, but stepmother demands him to refuse babysitting Luke, so we don't leave the kids with them often. Instead, Jane's brother and sister-in-law usually watch the kids for us, as their children are close to ours in age. We had a thing last Sunday, and my brother-in-law was out of town with his family. Jane's other siblings live in different cities, as well as my mom and sister. My dad agreed to babysit at our place, and we left. We came back to find both kids crying, stepmother screaming, and dad weakly trying to calm everyone down. Apparently, Luke had told stepmother that both he and our son were going to be our ring bearers, and she went ballistic. She screamed that she wasn't going to allow that because he wasn't family. She then made me need to include the trigger warning when he started crying. His lip is still split. She'd never gotten to this point before. We immediately banned her from our house and from our wedding. Dad is fuming and has said he's not going without her. He's also convinced half of his side of the family, by severely downplaying what stepmother did, to boycott the wedding as well. This includes my stepbrother, who fully agrees with his mother no matter how many times I try to tell him the truth. Me and Jane are refusing to budge, but many of my cousins who aren't coming anymore are asking us to reconsider. Pretty much all of Jane's family agrees with us, but one of her aunts has suggested that maybe stepmother is acting out because she doesn't feel welcomed by my family. I've honestly had it with my family enabling her behavior. I love my dad, and really want him at my wedding, but I am more than willing to go no contact if it means protecting my family. Edit, I think I accidentally deleted the paragraph where I mentioned this, but we did press charges. We took Luke to the pediatrician the next day and gathered every piece of evidence we had. Not only did we have pictures of Luke's face, but by some miraculous strike of luck, we also had nanny cam footage. Some commenters were right to assume that my stepmom hadn't been invited to our house, but my dad hasn't really gone anywhere without her in years, so we took precautions. We didn't expect her to actually do anything this awful, but we've never trusted her with the kids. The physical attack happened off camera, but there is some footage of her screaming and Luke crying before and after the event. She now has a child abuse charge on her rap sheet. We wouldn't let her get away with this. Edit 2, there is a lot of additional info I want to add. I'll try to respond to at least some of the comments. I did not expect the amount I've gotten so far, but all I'll add for now is that Luke is okay. The visit to the pediatrician happened the day after. He already had a counselor. Jane was pretty traumatized when her dad and stepmom died, and was worried it would rub off on him, and will continue treatment. We've been hugging and pampering him a little more than usual too. He's still upset, but is already doing much better. Entitled Mother wanted my baby to trap her boyfriend. Been sitting on this one for a while, and it was the tipping point that led to me going no contact with my entitled mother. A few years ago, after dropping out of college and having to move back in with my entitled mother, financial reasons stemming from my mother, I found out I was pregnant. 5 months pregnant, 19, and single. Scary, right? So I went to my mother and told her because I didn't really know what else to do. The first thing out of her mouth, verbatim, was, "Oh, this is perfect. Can I have it?" Obviously I thought that I had heard wrong, or that she was just effing with me because? What the F? But no, I had heard her perfectly. She went on about how she thought her new boyfriend was gonna break up with her and that since he was a widow, his wife and child had died in childbirth, he wouldn't leave her if she got pregnant. On the spot she pitched this elaborately stupid plan of us hiding my pregnancy and then passing my baby off as her own, as if we didn't live in the same city as all our family. Basically I told her she was crazy and we went back and forth for a bit before she threw a full-blown tantrum, screaming about how ungrateful I was and why couldn't I just do this one thing for her, and stormed off and locked herself in her room, where she promptly went on her phone and aired out my entire situation on Facebook. Well, within the hour both sides of my family knew. My father, equally an entitled asshole but separated from my mother, showed up with his girlfriend at my door and informed me that they had already set up an appointment for the following week with a local adoption agency. And that they knew I'd do the right thing. Which I did by packing my crap and couch hopping with friends for a bit until I got on my feet. This honestly wasn't the worst thing my entitled mother has ever done to me, but it was definitely the turning point to realizing I didn't want or trust her around myself or my child. Anyway, I haven't really talked to or seen either of my parents since, and now have a charming 3-year-old boy and a lovely fiancé, so life is much better. Mom kidnapped our kids and said she didn't know it was against the rules. So my wife and I have 2 kids, a nearly 3-year-old, and a 18-month-old. We won a cruise to the Bahamas for 2, meaning the kids couldn't go. My mother volunteers to watch the kids. Great, it's all settled, we're going to get away for a week and have some time for ourselves. As the date approaches, Mom starts talking about having the kids at her house for the week. We told her we were under the impression that she was going to be at our house. All the kids' stuff is here. Our home is a single story and easy to track the kids in. It's significantly closer to all of their doctors for emergencies. We're talking 20 minutes versus an hour and a half, and our house is baby-proofed where hers is not. So we said we really felt they should be at our house, and if that didn't work for her, we would make other arrangements. She said our house was fine, but days later says she would like to be at her house because my siblings who still live with her could help watch the kids. These are the same siblings who we were told needed to be instructed on how to be nice to toddlers, which is why we weren't invited to Thanksgiving. No thanks, we'll get you support through our own channels, people you know and like who can pop in to get you relief and help out. We leave for our trip, though as we are showing Mom where everything is and going over food and snacks, she's more interested in playing with the kids than learning where the diapers are. So day 1 in the boat, my wife uses the boat's internet to do a video call to check on the kids. All seems fine, but my mother tells her not to call again for the rest of the trip because it may upset the children. My wife doesn't tell me about that part of their convo right away, but as soon as she does, we call her back. When she answers, she's at her house, with the kids, and you can see brand new kids apparel and paraphernalia in the background. I asked her what happened and she tells me she was really sick and thinks she got norovirus. What the hell? Super nauseous. It was all she could do to call her brother who lives 5 minutes from me to have him pack the kids in my wife's car and drive an hour and a half to her house. So, you were so sick that you couldn't watch the kids, but you could drive home in a car that wasn't yours and endanger kids that aren't yours in the event that you pass out, or spontaneously start vomiting while on the freeway, potentially killing our children. Why didn't you call the list of people who said they'd come help? They had set aside parts of their weeks to come out and support with their time and money. Do they even know the kids aren't home? Do you know one person is staying in a hotel to be 10 minutes from you in case of emergency? Now they're an hour and a half from home and none the wiser for what's happening. The first thing she says is she really was sick. I never accused her of not being sick. I doubted it, but I never said it. Then she tells me how dare I judge her for her decisions and she doesn't have to justify herself to me, and that she doesn't have to watch my kids. I told her to pack my kids up in the car and take them home. Someone else was going to watch them. When she dropped the kids off, she was nasty to their new caretakers and sulked. As soon as I knew the kids were safe, I sent her a message saying she clearly didn't respect us as parents. Doesn't matter how many kids she raised, these are ours, and she sure as hell needed to justify herself and check in with us if she was too sick to do her job. We have the right to know what's going on with our kids, and any sane person would call and ask us what we wanted them to do before packing the kids up and taking them away. If the roles were reversed, she would have absolutely lost her mind, and I know because I've seen it, and that she didn't need to see the kids again if she was going to go that far out of her way to undermine us and then act like a spoiled child to family and friends when she gets caught. Then next day she replied to the message saying she didn't realize she did anything that was that far out of expected parameters. Yeah, her words, and that she recognized that parents had their own rules and she would have to learn ours. Never did anything resembling sorry come across in that message or any other. We blocked her on social media and haven't spoken to her since. Karen parked in my driveway, then claimed the house was hers. So I am a 14-year-old male and my family recently moved into a house in a new estate. This estate had a park that was massive. My house is on the main road of the estate and its garage is on the other side on another road, and we are close to the park. About 2 months ago they hosted an opening ceremony for the park. A lot of people came, people from the surrounding areas came as well. Me, my brother and my parents left our house and walked down to the park. Due to all the traffic there were people to manage it. Once we get there, we see a car parked in our driveway. My dad is a calm dude usually, but he doesn't like stuff like this. Me and my brother, 18 years old, go up to one of the workers and tell him that the car in there wasn't ours and we don't want it there. The worker tells us he saw the people parked there and kind of remembers what they look like. We tell him that it would be good if we get the car moved. He says he will try to find her. About 20 minutes later we see him walking up to the car with a lady and her son who look to be about 9. She walks up there and we see her starting to get angry. Naturally we walk up to see what's happening. This is the conversation that happened, not 100% accurate, it's been a while. Karen, I don't understand why you want me to move my car. I live here. Worker, well they say that you don't and I don't see why they would bring this issue here unless it was true. Karen, they are clearly lying. I live here. My brother, ma'am please. I live here and I even have keys to the house, please move your car. Karen, bull crap, complete bull crap. I have lived here for a year and watched this park get built. Our house was finished 5 months prior to this. My brother, okay then, what 2 cars are inside the garage then? Karen, a Volkswagen and a Mazda. My brother, nope, a Volkswagen Jetta and a Hyundai i45. Karen, that's not true, I'll open the garage and show you. As she scuffles through her handbag my brother opens the garage. My brother, there, that's the evidence, closes the garage. Worker, it's not your house so please leave. She gets in the car and leaves while looking very angry. We didn't think to call the cops because nothing major happened, but it was funny to see her lying out of her ass and getting proven wrong. P.S. I hope the man with a dog named Hugo sees this. Love your content. Also I meant, and in the title, sorry. My dad leaves his piss and crap all over the bathroom and I can't stand it. I swear to God, my dad gets on every last nerve of mine the way he acts like just because he pays for this house nobody else lives here. My father, a grown-ass man by the way, has been leaving the toilet unflushed, piss all over the toilet seat, and piss in the shower for as long as I've been alive and I'm sick of it. I told my mom to talk to him about it because if I did I'd be disrespectful. He then blatantly lied about it saying it wasn't him and blamed it on my brother, when everyone in the house knows it's my dad. Today he called me into the living room to shift the blame onto me by accusing me of leaving used menstrual pads and blood on the floor when he himself is aware that's not true. I've never heard a testimony from my family members complaining either. He also said that even when he lifts the seat, which is so simple, yet so hard, we still complain that he leaves the toilet seat up, but literally no one ever said that. My mom and I were so confused. He was just making up crap to deflect from the original argument because he couldn't justify his lack of respect for the other people who live here. He also brought up irrelevant points, saying that I should just use the upstairs bathroom because my room was originally my brother's room, as if that means my brother should be dealing with a nasty-ass bathroom instead. Arguing with him is useless. I want to move out so effing bad. Edit, thank you guys for all of your advice. This has garnered a lot of attention, so should I post some more about the stuff my dad does? I have tons of stories of him just all around being a crappy person, but I don't know if they fit under the entitlement topic. Thanks for watching. Do you have any similar stories to share? Don't be shy and drop them in the comments below, then like and subscribe for more Reddit videos.